Hello everybody and welcome back to the Alright podcast. Remember, it's not the best podcast, but it's not the worst podcast. It's just an alright podcast. Guys, welcome back to another episode. I honestly don't know what episode this is, what number. I should have checked it before I actually started this. But guys, it is a solo episode again today. And yes, there hasn't been videos for 2 weeks. I did record a video last night on Zoom with Greg Young and Bobby Calloway. And I was supposed to edit it this morning. And when I did that, my audio and Bobby's audio was terrible. You could not hear our voices and you could hear Greg only. So we done about an hour of that last night and it was great. We got some good points. We talked about a lot of stuff and I will be doing more podcasts with them too. And hopefully more people can do podcasts with me. I am right now, a lot of people are in isolation, such as myself and probably you that's listening now. We all are all over the world. A pandemic has hit us weeks ago and it's starting to get to me. And I thought I'd do this podcast because this is what my podcast is for. My podcast is if I want to talk about a certain subject or a topic, I can just get onto this and I can talk to you guys about it and you can kind of comment and so, you know. Yeah, so I'm feeling, at the start, man, I was okay with it, but now, recently, the past week or so, I'm feeling real down, I'm feeling real shit. My attitude, the way I think about things now are really bad. I wouldn't say, like, really, really bad, but it's just when I'm around, because I live on my own, so I'm constantly on my own, and I realised, you know, over the past year, I've probably been living like a pandemic has happened. Because I'm just on my own all the time. As you guys know, that my girlfriend only comes up on the weekends. So I'm literally with myself 4 or 5 days a week. And it's lonely, man. It's pretty lonely. People say when you move out of a house that it's great. You get your own space. But people don't tell you how lonely it can be. And people that have a full-time job, yeah, they keep themselves occupied and busy and they don't really be lonely, because when I was working I actually wasn't that lonely. I was actually alright because I had people around me, but now I realised that I'm not the type of person that can be on their own. I thought I was the person that could chill out by themselves, but I can't. I love interacting with other people. I love talking to other people, discussing subjects and topics and stuff, and just talking to people, just having people around you. And I think it's good, but I think that's also bad, because I do need to learn how to be by myself. And I think this pandemic is making me realise and learn that I'm just not that type of person that could stay by themselves and be on their own. It's horrible. My whole day consists of waking up, letting the dogs out, going for a shower, going to get a chicken roll in Neilstown, literally, up in Centra. And then after that, I am gone back home, sitting there, listening to podcasts day in, day out. I think that's the only thing that's keeping me sane through all of this. Not even messing. That's the only thing that's keeping me sane through this. Yes, it would be friends as well, that we do text in a group chat. So there's some interaction with people. I am doing live streaming on my other channel, my main channel, Tonto, on YouTube. If you type that in, I did get 1,130 subscribers. Now we're up on that. I have that channel about 5 years. But other than the live streaming or making videos to keep myself occupied, it's just, you can do so much, man, until you start getting, I wouldn't say bored, but you're just getting used to the same old thing. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's you go into a place. I can tell you now, in the past week, I've been feeling more down than feeling happy. That I only get a bit of happiness throughout the day, like little sparks or a little bit energy for a while, and then it just goes back. And I need to change that mindset, man, because your brain, your mind is so powerful, and if you let it take over you, they say you're lost in your own world. There's so many different phrases of putting that, you're lost in your own world, but that's one of my phrases for it. So I do have to learn to get up, go out. I do walk the dogs every day as well. We go to the park, and let me say, people, We're supposed to be in a pandemic. You're supposed to go outside if you're only going out for exercise or something like that. If you're going on a run or walk the dogs or something like that as well, you know. Just to get yourself out of the house, you stay 2 meters apart. But I'm going to the park down the road from me a lot lately as well. I do every day, but lately when I'm going down, the weather over in Dublin, Ireland has been amazing. It's so nice. It's going up to 17 degrees. It's going to be going up to 20 degrees. April's going to be such a nice weather, man, and I hope it keeps up. But the amount of people in the park, like, literally, the amount of people just sitting on the grass with their kids and them, and it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that they're getting out of the house. But people, I don't think a lot of people understand what's going on and what's actually happening. I don't think people understand that what's going on right now is real. That it can do serious damage and it can affect someone. Even if it's not them, it can affect someone around them. And I kind of got annoyed over it. I was like, you selfish fuckers. Look at yous. I understand that you have to enjoy yourself, but look at yous. You have kids, you have a husband or boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever, and you are sitting out here in the park. You can go home and you can chill out together. You can watch movies. You can do like fitness time on YouTube where you can put in. There's this guy that's getting very popular because he's doing workouts from home for kids and stuff like that as well, and adults can join in as well. And these people get to surround each other and be with each other. And literally, the only company I have is my 2 dogs. Literally, my 2 dogs. And there's just so much you can take of them 2 little fuckers before you need time on your own away from them dogs. Because the dogs can't talk back to you, man. You can't have a conversation with dogs. They can be there for you, you know. It's a nice little bit of company, but it's just so much before you actually want to have a sit down and have a conversation. And I'm having conversations with people on FaceTime or on Zoom or so, but barely. And my girlfriend and I, we FaceTime mostly every night, but it's not the same, man. I wish we could just be here. She lives in Offaly and she has to work because what she does is very important. So she'll have to drive from Offaly to Dublin back up to Offaly. But because of the ban now, no one's allowed to drive. Just for work. Excuse me, I'm just have to yawn. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so for people like her, she has to stay up there, man. She's not allowed up to Dublin, so it is lonely not having her around. And I do have friends there that are real supportive of me as well, and I'm very supportive of them. And if there's anything wrong, we talk about it. But it's just, I miss meeting up with friends. I miss going outside and not have a restriction on things, and it's just affecting me so much. And I know this podcast is supposed to be guests and it's supposed to be like kind of, it's interesting. I find this interesting. The way I'm acting, I'm finding this real interesting, because at the start of this I was like, don't worry, it'll be grand, it'll be alright. I'm not, man. I'm staying calm, but I know I'm worried. It's scary. It's scary knowing that when could this end? And there's people, we got told that if we all stay inside, that the virus could, like, it can go down. Do you get me? Not much people will be killed and stuff like that, and we can control it. But people are not taking it serious. People are not taking any of this serious. And because of them people like us, people like myself that are staying in, have to wait longer. So imagine the effect it has on us more than them, because they're out enjoying themselves. And not caring about other people. I want to do so much, man. Literally this Saturday, the 11th of April, I was supposed to do auditions in the Clayton Hotel. We literally had 50 people auditioning. We were having our own room, we were on our own meeting room, our interview room. We had cameras, lights, everything. We had everything for my new film, The Hitmen, as part of the Dream Factory Productions. That's our production company, because we make short films and films. And we were getting ready for him, and then this hit. And also, I'm supposed to be going on holidays on the 22nd of May. And guess what? Yeah, you guessed it. I'm not going. This is the first time in my life that I actually said, you know what? I'm going to save up money all on my own, and I'm going to treat my girlfriend. And I do treat Nicola well. But this was something special. And she doesn't care. She told me that her birthday is this month, April 24th. Her birthday is. And she said to me, I don't care if you get me a bar of chocolate. Just, it's the thought that counts. And she doesn't ask for much, man. So that's really good. But I do try. So I said, you know what? She's so good to me. She's so good to me. She does everything for me. Like, if I say help me out with this, I don't even have to. She knows, and she goes and does it. Imagine having someone like that in your life. Imagine. It's amazing. And I'm pretty sure people that are listening right now know that they have someone like that in their life. And I'm so lucky that I have someone that I can be so intimate with as well. And I can talk about any of my problems with inside that. You know, I love her. I love her a lot. And when this is all over, we're going to go on that holiday. Because we have to postpone it now. We were thinking to do it for August. But I honestly don't know if we're going to do that. I really don't. I don't know if this is going to be over by August. No one knows. People are just saying, they're just thinking this might be this. They're just thinking, man. You know? They're just wondering. They don't really know. It's crazy. And yeah, I am you can kind of hear my mood changing and stuff like that as well. Because literally all I'm doing, man, is I'm pulling the curtains. I'm lying in bed when it's bright out. And I just want to lie in bed in the dark. And I know people are probably like, whoa, what? Would you not talk to someone? And I do, man. I tried to. I joined a 12-week mental health course to how to deal with my mental health. And we had 5 weeks left of this course. And it was cancelled because of this pandemic. And I am trying to get what they learned us to try to deal with what I'm going on. But it's mad, man. It's horrible. It's crazy. And thank God for podcasts. Thank God for people. I watch people. I'm watching someone right now called Bobby Lee for Tiger Belly. I watch Bad Friends. I watch Joe Rogan. I watch Your Mom's House. I watch so many podcasts. And the reason, I think for people like me, I think the reason why we listen to podcasts and why we get so much into it is because we want to be involved with people like that, and it feels like we're a part of the conversation. It feels like that we are in that room with them, and we're just sitting in the corner and we're listening, and we're enjoying ourselves for that hour or for that 2 hours that they do the podcast once a week. We go into the room with our favourite comics or our favourite person that does the podcast, and it feels like we're a part of the conversation, and we can escape from what's happening around us right now. And it's great. So thanks very much for people that made podcasts. This is why I make podcasts, just for anybody out there that has that feeling. And I'd love to get more people on. I'd love doing this, man. It's like, do you know when people say, well, if you're down or you feel sad, why don't you write? I don't like writing. Like, I don't like handwriting things down, handwriting things down. I like typing stuff up, but it's not the same. I like getting everything off my chest through here. And I know by putting it out on the internet that my personal stuff is going out into the world. But maybe there's people out there like me that are having the same thoughts or feelings, you know, or going through the same thing, and they can relate to it, you know. Some people might not. Some people might turn around and say, I don't understand why he's going through like this. I don't understand why he's talking about that. Maybe because they got that shit together. Maybe because they've been through all this before. Maybe that they just haven't been through it yet, you know. But right now at the moment, man, I just feel real down. And I hope I uplift. Yeah, so guys, that's kind of my this is kind of the episode. I really don't know what else to say. I will have episodes up more than one day a week now. I'm gonna try to upload as much as I can on the Alright podcast while this quarantine is happening. For bringing content out there for you guys. If it's not with people, it'll be a solo. And sometimes it'll be like this. It'll be like kind of real talk, you know, not kind of putting on an act. Because that's what I do when cameras are on. Everybody kind of puts on an act. People say be yourself. Well, people be themselves, but they don't to a certain extent. You know, people like to give a show. It's their 15 minutes of fame, you know. So sometimes it'll be uplifting, guys, and sometimes it won't. That's just the way it is. So, guys, thanks very much for listening to the Alright podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share with your friends, and let's try to make this thing grow bigger and better. Guys, remember, it's not the best podcast. It's not the worst podcast. It's just an Alright podcast. Guys, thanks for listening, and peace.